How many times have you heard the phrase fake news in the past couple of years? It's a popular talking point for Donald Trump, his associates, and his followers. It's used to discredit well-known channels and networks such as CNN, the Big Three networks, which are ABC, CBS, and NBC, and other news outlets. By identifying these as fake news, Trump is able to control his followers into watching and absorbing the news he prefers, like Fox News. And the sad truth is that Trump actually has a bit of a point here. News is manipulated and controlled by the people who produce it. For example, gatekeeping is a real thing that happens in cable and radio and on the internet so that you can only see what these networks want you to see. He's actually, and I can't believe I'm saying this, doing us a bit of a favor in pointing out the problems endemic to news broadcasting specifically and media in general. The issue here is that he's only pointing it out. He's not directing you towards his preferred media outlets like Fox because they're better and more informed. In fact, something like Fox News has been proven time and again to be pretty damaging as they willingly show news that are half-truths or just outright lies. He's not asking you to consider different perspectives and ideas that are counter to his. He's not asking you to critically engage with what you're watching. And he's not asking you to question what you consume. He, like these other news outlets he's critiquing, are in the business of directing your attention to what he prefers you to see and engage with. And this is one of the many reasons why it's so important to cultivate what's called media literacy. It's another phrase that you might have heard of, but perhaps might not have understood. What's the big deal with it? How does it help you? Why should you learn it? First, let's clarify what media literacy isn't. It's not, don't watch or engage. That's not an option. And even if it were, media is so seeped into our culture that we really can't escape it. Rather, media literacy means watching carefully, thinking critically, and actively participating. It's not media bashing. That's just shitting on media with no critical thought. It's true that media literacy does involve critique of media, but it's done with thoughtful analysis. It's not making media. Anybody can make media, like Logan Paul. Media literacy should include methods of production, which we're going to explore, but it's not only that. Finally, media literacy is not searching for political agendas, stereotypes, etc. That alone doesn't make for media literacy. It's important, we should do it, but that alone cannot be all that media literacy is. We have to combine that work with the underlying systems they go hand in hand with. So if media literacy isn't any of that, then what is it? Well, the Center for Media Literacy provides a very detailed explanation. Media literacy is a 21st century approach to education. It provides a framework to access, analyze, evaluate, create, and participate using messages in a variety of forms, from print to video to the internet. Media literacy builds an understanding of the role of media in society, as well as essential skills of inquiry and self-expression necessary for citizens of a democracy. In other words, the value of media literacy lies in its exploration of the following: how media works, how it influences us, the messages it sends, and how we create our own media. It's less about memorizing stats about media and more learning about not just to question what we consume, but about learning how to raise the right questions. So this is the start of a series of videos I'll be doing that explores media literacy and its related offshoots. We're going to be talking about things like visual literacy, semiotics, gestalt, advertising, memes, persuasion and propaganda, and related subjects. I got the idea for this video series from a former professor of mine, Dr. Michael Nyman. I took his Intro to Visual Communications course when I was an undergraduate, and a couple of years later I found myself working with him as a teaching assistant in the course. When I was a TA, I noticed that I had to spend a lot of time with students after class hours, recontextualizing and reframing the material so that students can get a better grasp of the concepts. These concepts can be a little dense if you've never been exposed to them before. So with Dr. Nyman's blessing, I'm making his lessons with my reframing accessible to everybody, especially now. As of the production of this video, it's July 2020, and the state of education is in flux with the effect of SARS-CoV-19 and physical distancing. I'd like to provide something valuable that, in theory, everybody can learn from. Now it's a matter of actually doing the thing. So our next couple of videos in this series are going to dive right into what's called visual literacy. In order to have a better understanding of media, we need to understand the founding principles of its creation. And what better way to start than with our eyes? Hey, if you're interested in the series, be sure to click the sub button for more. Please subscribe, it helps me out quite a bit. I'm hoping to release a video once a month. That's the big goal. If you like this, make sure to tickle that thumbs up. YouTube algorithms are a thing, and unfortunately we are all sort of subject to them with our media creation. Also, a big thank you to everybody who is currently a member on my Patreon page. It does help me quite a bit. I am taking a semester off from grad school to stay away from COVID with the current cases rising and everything sort of being a mess in the United States, as well as spending some time to focus on these videos that I'd like to do. So big thank you to everybody whose name is on the screen. Your support is very much appreciated. And if you like what you see, please consider being a patron. It would help me out so much. I can't wait to talk about all this with you. I'm super excited, and I think it's going to be a blast, and I hope you'll be along with the ride. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you soon for the next video.